What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage, and I'm back with another video. Now today I'm here to discuss the NBA awards that are given out every season. And I'm not even gonna waste time with this take. I believe the NBA awards are the worst thing that are managed in the NBA today. Long story short, young, this shit is goofy as fuck. Like, it's inconsistent as hell. It doesn't make any sense half of the damn time. 1 minute is about the stats, the next is about the narrative, the next is a blend, the next is not a blend at all, and it's solely about the motherfucking impact. Like, it doesn't make sense, and it never makes sense. These voters need to tighten up, because this shit is out of hand sometimes. Not everything is concrete, but goddamn, bro. For example, I believe that stats matter the most when it comes to most improved player. It's not like winning and team success don't have a factor necessarily, but it comes down to the stats at the end of the day, at least for this award. If you don't know by now, Brandon Ingram was the winner of the most improved player award. However, statistically, Bam Adebayo wasn't too far off. Because when you consider the criteria of this award, it's kind of concrete. It's the most improved player. It's no what does value mean, which I will get into the MVP later. But yeah, there is no what is value definition. There is no, oh, who's winning the most games necessarily. It comes down to who made the biggest strides as a player. And Bam Adebayo attests to the fact that I think stats matter the most, because Bam Adebayo almost doubled his points, went from averaging 2 to 5 assists a game, and went from averaging 7 to 10 rebounds a game. However, I think the reason Brandon Ingram still won the award was not only does he have the stats as well as a narrative factor. Because although he didn't basically double his points like Bam did, he did make a 5-point per game difference, averaging 23 points compared to 18, averaged 1 more assist, 1 more rebound, and he was actually 60% better from 3 with an attempts from 3 improving. And let's register how much of an insane leap that is as a shooter. He went from 1.8 attempts to 6.2, and for your percentage to skyrocket like that, man, that shit cannot be ignored. So honestly speaking, statistically, I would still give Brandon Ingram the award, but if you look at it from a narrative perspective, it's not even close. Long story short, Brandon Ingram got traded from the Lakers because he wasn't good enough, and now he ended up being an all-star. And although Bam has again made tremendous strides, he simply hasn't done anything to that level narrative-wise. But yeah, stats matter a little bit more than narrative in the most improved player award, but that's why that voting was so close. Legacy-wise, most improved player doesn't really matter to anybody, but at the end of the day, it's something nice for them to have. Now, credit where it's due to the NBA, Coach of the Year is easily the best award to decipher. It's basically team success and narrative, 100%. It's how much did you win and who you won with. If your star player got injured and people rich you off and then you fuck around and win the shit, oh yeah, you probably got Coach of the Year. The best case scenario for a Coach of the Year candidate is if their star player literally left their team last season and they go around and ball up like how Nick Nurse did, hence why he won. I'm not going to spend too much time on this award. They of course matter 100% in terms of legacy. If you win it the way Mike D'Antoni did, which was basically revamp the whole fucking roster, that's a way. Or if your team just ends up dominating the league the way the Bucks did last season, you'll win it like how Mike Budenholzer did. It's very concrete. I'm not wasting much time on this award. It matters, and it's pretty much given to one of the right guys every season. Sixth Man of the Year is basically like most improved, but a little bit to a higher level in terms of narrative. And I think Trez Harrell winning the Sixth Man of the Year over Lou Williams, who is regarded as the best sixth man of all time, speaks value to what I just said. Now, obviously, I'm not an idiot. Points per game isn't everything, but at the end of the day, it came down to the fact that Trez Harrell was basically the embodiment of the Clippers. That they come fresh out of Rivet City, straight out the mud, destined to beat LeBron James. He pretty much won the award when he said he was better than Rodman, and he played well to kind of back it up, but I mean, he was nowhere near Rodman's level ever a day in his life, and I hope he doesn't get overpaid in the offseason. Not only that, Dennis Schroeder being far and away second place also speaks volume to this, because again, the narrative for Oklahoma City was this slept on team that nobody thought would do well, and that includes Dennis Schroeder, who out of nowhere became a fucking lockdown guard who can also make really good plays for your offense, as he's done for his whole career. And honestly enough, even though stats do matter, I do believe the narrative does matter about the sixth man more, because it is about your team impact. And although I don't know if it came down to minutes per game, I really don't give a fuck to check it out, but whatever the reason, they consider Trez Harrell a more sixth man than Lou Williams, so fuck it, he wins the award. But either way, I think it pretty much goes to the right player as well. And the criteria for sixth man of the year applies directly to rookie of the year as well. I don't know what idiot voted for Zion Williamson, but yeah, he's an idiot to say the least. But yeah, the NBA typically gets rookie of the year right as well, and it's pretty concrete. Are they a fucking rookie? What is their impact on the team? And does it look like they're going to be the next best thing, as well as the stats to back it up? Again, it pretty much mirrors the criteria for sixth man of the year, so yeah, moving on. Now let me keep it a stack with you guys. These awards are really nothing more than shout outs. Legacy wise, the two most important out of the four I mentioned are obviously rookie of the year and coach of the year. But in the grand scheme of things, rookie of the year just compares you to your draft class contemporaries for one season. The most rookie of the year does for your legacy is show how you came in the league and pretty much were effective right away. But you can very much win rookie of the year and not even be near the best rookie in the class. And I've never heard a player player argue that another player was better because they won Rookie of the Year. I've never heard that shit. Coach of the Year does have significant value, but at the end of the day, the NBA is a player-based league, so unfortunately the impact of Coach of the Year is simply minuscule to say the least. But especially when you dive into Sixth Man of the Year and the Most Improved Player of the Year, nobody really gives a shit about those awards. Now, when I get to the All-NBA teams, MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year, the long-term impact matters much more, but here they're pretty much irrelevant. I'm not saying these awards don't necessarily matter, but also when you consider the poor timing of the playoffs to then announce these awards, nobody gives a shit. Now, although MVP is the biggest mess of all of this shit, the Defensive Player of the Year is probably the most annoying award every year because it takes out one of their major factors in all the awards, which is stats. You can't statistically determine who's the best defender in the league. You just can't do it. You'd be doing yourself an injustice and make yourself sound really stupid. Defense is that part of the game that you don't see on the box score, and unless you think Curry averaging 3 steals should have got him MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, I think we can all agree on that. Now, I believe Defensive Player of the Year should come down to who guards who and how much is the team's defense rely on that singular player. And it's like I can't blame the NBA for not exactly having a concrete answer at all times, but I do feel like some of these voters simply don't watch the game. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I know I'm a Lakers fan, but at the end of the day, the people have all agreed on this. A landslide for Giannis? Pat Bev getting a first place vote? Who the hell even voted for Whiteside at all? Like, sometimes narrative does push this thing really fucking far, and then sometimes it also feels like the offensive player simply will not get the award. Off the dome, when LeBron lost to Marc Gasol for Defensive Player of the Year, I thought that shit was insane. Like, as a voter, it's your job to watch the game and then handle picking these awards that affect these players' legacies. And Defensive Player of the Year has a major effect on players' legacies, as I've definitely heard people say, oh, this guy's been Defensive Player this many times, this guy has never even won the award. Like, this is a big fucking award for you guys to fuck up because you don't watch the game as a voter. It's kind of insane. Like, when in the hell would anyone have ever considered Paul Millsap the 5th best defender in the NBA? But yet he ended up having 8 more points than Rudy Gobert in the 15-16 season. I just think the criteria for Defensive Player of the Year is pretty much whack. It's dog shit. The timing of all these awards are yet still dog shit, which MVP will highlight the most. But the worst part of it all is that this one actually matters and the criteria isn't accurate. It simply never goes to the guy that a lot of people think are the best defender in the world. And at least to a nigga like me, the most underdebated thing in basketball is the amount of votes that go to these awards. The ones with relevance, of course. You're gonna tell me Giannis was far and wide the best player in the league, twice as good as Anthony Davis on defense? Like, yo, cut that shit out. They have to do better with DPOY. That shit's unacceptable. But finally, we're here at the MVP award. Now, this award is so hoed, it's not even funny. But like Defensive Player of the Year, the award is so important to a nigga's legacy, we ain't got time for niggas to hold this award, but yet they always do. From a criteria standpoint, we don't even know what the hell applies for this award, man. There's niggas who will take this award in the most literal way possible and be like, okay, cool, take X player off the team, let's see how they ball. Which, by the way, that take itself is the dumbest take of all time. It's used a lot and never made any fucking sense, but I don't have time to talk about that, maybe for a different video. Then there's also people who interpret the award as, oh, the best player on the best team. And of course you have niggas that think it's just going to the best player in the league in general, but there's so many other interpretations for the award, and that's the problem. We don't know what the fuck is the criteria for this shit. Like, what do you have to do to win the award? The 2 most important regular season awards are dog shit when it comes to criteria. Now, Giannis has a very strong case to win MVP. I'm not even upset at that. But something about 16 votes going to a guy that a lot of people consider better than Giannis. A guy that you could argue is at least 60% responsible for all of the Lakers offense. And if averaging a triple-double can solo squad you an award as a 7 seed, why the hell is 25, 10, and 7.8 not talked about? But yeah, all of these things going for LeBron James, and again, Giannis has a case to win MVP. I'm not mad that he won the award at all. But 16 votes? Compared to the 84 that Giannis got, that is simply unacceptable. Is it because the Bucks got a better record? Is it because he's the best player on the best team? Or do people actually think Giannis is the best player in the world? We don't know. And that's a problem considering how impactful the MVP award really is. My own interpretation based off the consistency of the NBA has been this. What is your narrative? What is your impact? And how good is your team? Oh, and of course your stats. Because Russ pretty much broke a record since I believe like 1986, maybe even further back. I gotta double check it. I don't know off the dome. But yeah, your MVP is typically a top 4 seed in the NBA. But Russell Westbrook's team was so bad in a lot of people's eyes, even though they just weren't scorers, but fuck it. But yeah, people thought Russell Westbrook's team was so bad, and him averaging a triple-double hasn't been done since Oscar Robertson, that narrative alone was the reason to carry him to an MVP award, even though James Harden clearly won more games and clearly had better stats. And hell, outside of Westbrook's stands that year, because trust me, 2017 Westbrook is the most toxic player I've ever seen. Outside of those stands though, everyone thought that Harden was better than Westbrook. So the fact that Harden was one of the best players on the best team, had the stats stats to back it up by a mile, and was 2 rebounds away from averaging a triple-double himself, really shows you how inconsistent MVP really is. Because at any given moment, the voters can decide that winning, stats, narrative, or impact matter the most. It never makes any fucking sense. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if LeBron had won that shit and then they went on TV and was like, well, we voted for him because he's 35 and he's doing this, I'd be pissed the hell off. And yet this shit matters so much, but it's such a joke when it comes to criteria. But I don't even think that's the worst part about this award. Timing for all of these awards are stupid because they start in the playoffs, but for MVP it has to easily be the worst part of it. You know how fucking stupid Giannis looks? You know how fucking stupid the NBA looks just saying that Giannis is the MVP despite how he got done dirty by the Miami Heat? I don't even need to dive into detail. Like, the shit is just fucking retarded. Like, now it looks like, why the hell didn't you vote for LeBron? Even though Giannis had a really good case to win MVP. I give Giannis a lot of slack, but that is just straight up unfair to him. He just got upset by the Heat. He shouldn't have to be talking about this dumbass MVP award. And I love how he responded saying, don't call me shit until I win a championship, because he even knew, like, what the hell, don't talk to me about that shit right now. In conclusion, there's a lot of shit that they need to work on to make MVP and Defensive Player of the Year more credible. So I conclude with this: either you announce all these shits at the end of the regular season, you know, before the fucking playoffs, or, and hear me out here, make the playoffs matter. Everyone that watches basketball even half competently changes how they feel about certain players in the playoffs, yet they have no award for them outside of finals MVP. And whether you think MVP goes to the most valuable player in the terms of literally, the best player on the best team, or the best player in the league in general, I think all three of those fan bases would agree that you could at least make the playoffs and perform well in them, right? But that will probably never happen because that actually makes 100% sense, but controversy sells like a motherfucker. But that's gonna do it for today's video. By the way, comment below if you like the longer videos or whatever. This shit is accidental. I don't script any of my shit. Also, don't forget to like the video if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my channel. And on that note, I will see you guys later. Take care.